Okay, almost there. Good morning, folks. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Morning, is it Paulus K? Yep, good morning, Paulus K. Let me get the mic situated here. I didn't really... Actually, I have quite a bit of room. I can pull it closer. Hopefully we'll get better sound without getting it in frame. Probably take my hoodie off at some point, but let's start like this. Alrighty then. Let's see. I do need a browser window. Stuff is not really related to what we're going to be working on, so I'll put that over there. Just woke up, got my coffee. Beautiful morning, past, present, future. Good morning, DJ Devin. Coffee cheers, as it were. I've got some coffee here as well. Went hot coffee, but 2 ice cubes today, so it's like cooling down quickly for me to start drinking it real fast. Let's see, we can just start with CircuitPython.org for anybody that might be new. I'll be working on CircuitPython stuff. My name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy on GitHub and Discord, as well as Twitch, although Twitch, somebody beat me to it, so it's FoamyGuy_Twitch. Typically on streams, I work on CircuitPython related stuff, all sorts of different aspects of the CircuitPython project, sometimes projects built with CircuitPython, sometimes libraries, sometimes the core, sometimes the surrounding infrastructure, like in the repositories in GitHub and actions and workflows and all kinds of other nifty utilities that are sort of tangentially related to CircuitPython, but may not be the actual core project itself, which I should explain if you don't know anything about CircuitPython. You can learn more at CircuitPython.org, but basically this is a version of Python that runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers. There are a bunch of pictures of them here on the downloads page. Today's microcontroller for me is MEMENTO Python camera, which I actually just realized this morning. I totally dyslexic read the name this whole time as Momento, but it is actually MEMENTO, and I just never caught that somehow. But that's the device that I'm using today. It's a ESP32S3 based microcontroller, and it does have a fair amount of other sort of stuff added on to it. In this case, above and beyond just the core microcontroller, brain computer itself. It also has a camera, it has a display on the backside, it has an SD card holder, it has some little connectors for charging batteries and doing things, as well as I/O pins and I2C stemma. And then on the front, if we are not allowed to go to the front picture from some reason, maybe we'll just refresh and then try the front picture. It's got some buttons and things on the front. So I am working on a program that will take photos with this and then manipulate the photo by combining it together with other stuff. A sort of photo border frame was kind of the initial idea, but realistically this could be used to kind of stamp all kinds of stuff on and around your photos, similar to how you might find in a modern sort of smartphone camera app. The smartphone camera app is going to be able to do probably a lot more fancy stuff than we can do here, but we can do some basic, paste it into a frame or paste a smiley face on top or, that kind of stuff, which is what we're aiming for. So that was the long-winded version, but yeah, CircuitPython.org is where you can learn more about it if you want to. Thanks, of course, to Adafruit, as always. Adafruit is the company who designed this piece of hardware that we're using today. They're also the company who pays the folks who work on the CircuitPython project. There's a team of folks who work on the project full-time who are paid by Adafruit. There are some like me who are paid part-time to work on the project, and Adafruit is the one funding that, and the way that they are able to do so is by having folks purchase hardware from them at adafruit.com. So if you want to help CircuitPython, myself, and all the people who work on it, you can do so by just purchasing hardware over on Adafruit. It can also be pronounced MEMENTO. How's it going, Dexter? MEMENTO. Or do you mean MEMENTO, like acronym style? MEMENTO. Alright, so where we are starting is I actually need to grab the code from the non-MEMENTO, because what I have plugged in currently is Feather S3 TFT, I think. Yeah. I don't know what's this about. Gotta figure that out one of these days, but that's all right. Let me save this also. This is an unrelated thing I'm working on. We can close this stuff up. What are the tab group? Oh, that's this window? No, that was this window. Okay, yeah, we can close all of this stuff. All right, so I think what I'll do is just copy this, right? Let's just grab a full copy of this, and then that way we'll have everything. This is the Feather S3 TFT camera stuff. I should have pasted it as that name, but whatever, we'll just have CircuitPy inside of it. Being able to overlay date and time info, maybe a watermark or logo. That sounds awesome. Logo, definitely yes. Watermark is difficult. It depends on how you mean watermark. A lot of watermarks typically are, what's the word I'm looking for? Like alpha layered, right? Like they're partway transparent. That would be difficult for CircuitPython to achieve. There are some functions within bitmap tools that could potentially give you a visual output that looks like that. I'll be careful to word it that way. Basically, display I/O in CircuitPython itself doesn't support transparency, so I should say doesn't support varying levels of transparency. It supports transparent or not, but it doesn't support like half transparent. There is a function in bitmap tools, I think it's called Alpha Blend, or maybe it's part of RotoZoom. I don't remember for sure which one it is, but there is one that can visually achieve something similar within the bitmaps that we do have. But I don't necessarily intend to use it that way for this project. But I think it could potentially work. Logo, though, definitely yes. Date and time, definitely yes, although not something I considered before. Like at the end of the day, what I'm doing is blitting from a source bitmap into your photo. In my mind, those source bitmaps are frames and other things, but like a bitmap label is also just a bitmap, right? So you could totally blit text into it as well if you wanted, I think. Acronym was a joke because it was the word meme in it. I gotcha. I didn't realize either that it wasn't memento until you said something. Nice. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Seeing the word meme is an easier way to remember how to spell it. Yeah. Tell you what. Coffee cheers over to Sea Grover. How's it going? Yes. Yeah. One day, though, I think we'll get there. Opaque timestamps is fine. Yep. Opaque timestamps you could totally do with a bitmap label, just instead of, or as a source bitmap. Instead of the ones I'm using, it could totally just be a bitmap label. Not like a bitmap label directly, but the bitmap that's inside of the bitmap label. I think you can access with just .bitmap or something. Is it most text? Yeah. Bitmap label is, and then label, the regular label without bitmap is a bunch of labels. There's a Learn guide that explains the difference. The bitmap label would be better for this use case, though, because you would only have to blit one thing instead of one for each character. All right, we're gonna move the Frankenstein version of this one. Adafruit and DigKey. I want to get one of these that I didn't think I had a need. Yeah, I feel you there. I missed the first round of them, and then was kind of eyeballing them for a little bit, thinking about ways to use it. I don't know when they will be back in actual stock. Where is the focusing like that? I wonder if I could, like, use a microcontroller. I mean, I could, right? Use a microcontroller to control my camera here? It would be nice to have a rotary encoder for focus, for instance, or like something that focuses it automatically when I press a button to a certain level. Alright, this is running a stock thing. I think it's probably not CircuitPython, is it? Maybe CircuitPy? No, this is just like a CircuitPy that always shows up here for some reason. I don't know why. Let's go to the terminal for more truth. That one would make a new one. Media TMC. Yeah, nothing in there. I think this probably ships with a lot of these devices. They'll ship with not CircuitPython by default. It's got like a test program that they use right after they manufacture it, and it's usually Arduino based. I think I saw that the boot button was the shutter button, I think, right? Upside down now, but I think, yeah, this one over here, it's, you know, again, it's upside down, but it says boot shutter. So if we hold that and we press reset at the same time, we'll reboot mysteriously and then nothing else will happen. Let's check for serial. Okay, ACM 0 is connected, so that makes me think that it does not have UF2 bootloader. I'm gonna unplug it effectively just to confirm this, so I just unplugged it right now. And yeah, we have no more ACM 0. And I am gonna get it back into bootloader by just holding the boot button while I plug it back in. Okay, that's there. And in that case, we need to put the bootloader on it, which means we need to do this, which I think you have to do in Chrome. Well, there's a few ways to do it. I find the easiest way the web-based tool. The last couple of times I've done them. And I think the web-based tool uses Chrome. Let me also check on the chat here. I've covered it up. Here we go. Depends on what you're trying to do, but usually with custom fonts, go on the bitmap font and image load. Feature that told me was an onion skinning. An onion skinning for stop animation. Yeah, stop animation I think would be cool too, to set it up somewhere and have it like be able to snap photos very easily or something and then put together like a flipbook style thing. UP's image stacking, the quality of image it's capable of with image stacking technique is mind-blowing. Yeah, you're talking about like he had the little Lego city, was it? Where it was like different focuses and stuff like that, which is pretty crazy. Not trivial, 720p, you get up to 2K. It's fresh out of the box, nice. We'll see the entire install process. Yep, web flashers, Chrome only. Web serial is a feature on Chrome only right now. I got you. Hopefully Firefox will get there eventually. We can download this. So let me read through this real fast. It's been a minute since I've done one. So UF2, we definitely want this. It's not necessary unless a boot drive is not visible. So yeah, I don't have a boot drive. UF2 bootloader has never been installed on the board where it was removed by overwriting. Then it must be installed in order for Flash UF2. Yeah, using the web ESP. So I'm going to copy the link on this. And then get a new Chrome tab. Update UF2 not currently working on ESP S2 and S3. I'm not sure what that means, the update UF2. Like a UF2 that installs the bootloader? Or updates the bootloader, I guess. Probably they mean updates the bootloader, obviously, because update's in the name. We're not necessarily updating, really, though. We're installing for the first time. These instructions are general. We recommend you consult manufacturer's board documentation, detailed instructions. We could look in the, I bet you the Learn Guide probably has this as well, maybe in a slightly more sort of like step-by-step with photos and stuff. Let's see. This one seems to assume the bootloader's on there. Starter projects. We're going to want these in a minute. I'm actually just going to keep this page open. Arduino ID. Okay, I don't see it in there. We'll just continue on this page. So it's going to download the thing, unzip. Combined bin, place the board in bootloader mode. Make sure it's the only board plugged in. Yeah, we know it's definitely there because we saw TTY MC0. Press and hold down boot or 0, release, reset, get to release. Okay. Upload combined bin, Google 89 or newer, open the web tool, select 40 or 6800. I don't think I've ever seen anything that uses that baud. Where did I put the, I got so many, I got too many Chrome tabs. Okay, here we go, 4. I don't think I've ever seen these two, the two faster ones here at all, actually. I can recall. Okay, we'll set it to that, and then it says, click connect. Did I upload? Oh, but upload is like the name of the, yeah, upload is the name of the section, not necessarily an instruction, okay. Connect, we want HCM0, yep, that's the one. Okay. Select the COM port, we did that. After successful, click erase. After successful erase, click choose a file. Erase. Take a drink of coffee. Very important step. Maybe check the chat. There was an issue with an incorrectly named UF2 that was pulling from ESP-S3 camera instead of S3 or something. Possible it's related to that. It was for like a week. It's been fixed, so current download should work. Okay. All right, finished. 14 seconds. 14,666 milliseconds. Mark of the beast in there. All right, let's see. Click any, choose a file. Locate and select the combined bin. Oh, I did not unzip it. Let me get that unzipped. Clean out my downloads folder. Gotten to the point where it's tiny UF2, is that right? There's a combined bin inside there. That must be right. I got it from the page right here, right? Download bootloader zip. Tiny UF2. Okay. So choose a file on any of the things, then locate the combined bin. After choosing that, then click Program. Choose a file, downloads, combined bin, which is in here. Combined bin. Find bin, click Program. I'm just going to double check. After tinyuf2 is complete, press the reset button on the board. It is way faster than I remember doing this last time, so the baud rate's nice. If that's what's doing that, I assume. You can upload a file, then click Erase. Yeah, I figured you could probably, that part of the order doesn't matter, because once you choose the file, it's just like it's in the DOM, basically, right? It's just an element on the form on the page, basically. As long as you do erase before program is all that matters, yeah. I gotcha. Otherwise, you could end up with like weird stuff at the end or something if the new thing is smaller. All right, so that's looking pretty successful to me. So we need to press the reset button on the device, and that should bring us back to boot folder. I just noticed there's an on switch, but it's definitely in the on position. I would have felt really silly if this whole time I just like needed to press a switch the other way. Here, let me put the camera. So I'm just gonna press reset once. Nice. That's the doesn't want to focus so well, but that's the old CircuitPython boot screen, bootloader screen thing. Well, it's not really CircuitPython at that point. It's just the UF2 bootloader, I guess, but. All right, so now we can grab CircuitPython beta 0. I already did, I guess. Delete that one. Drop that on camera boot. Why is it 7K for a fave icon? Never seen an instance where I need to use all 4. Yeah, I don't know about the 4 thing. I don't know how that works. I guess my best guess, which is like a complete guess, I have no idea if it's anywhere near accurate or anything, but my best guess is like maybe there are situations where you would want to put like multiple bins, like maybe a bootloader part of it, and then after that, like a program part of it or something. I can't imagine really a need for doing 4 instead of just like 2, but I don't even know if that's how it works at all or not either, though. All right, so we've got a CircuitPy now. So we can get to terminal in here. It's kind of weird that this is like the only PyCharm project where I put my terminal on the right side, but I'm sort of weirdly used to it, although I did just look for it on the left side there for a second. Get some TO action here, maybe. Nope, okay, let's just go TO. We should have... Okay, it came back as ACM1. I'm tempted to just reset it right now. I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to unplug, replug, because that should bring it back probably as ACM0, which is like the first one, the default one, which is nice because that is the one that all of my commands are already set to, but it seems like it came back as 1 again anyway. All right, well, fair enough. We'll just stick with 1 then. My best guess is 0 now is like saved as the bootloader one for some reason or whatever. All right. We want to go to basic camera, fancy camera. Let's start with basic camera. So I've got some code that does some blitting of the frame and stuff, but all of that stuff I was working on was on a completely different device. So let's get just take a photo with this device going first here, and then we'll worry about splitting stuff in. So this looks pretty straightforward. I think it's time to lose the hoodie, probably. All right, BRB. If you haven't installed it before, what camera did you use to take the picture of your hand Lego for the border in the color space? You did borders before having the camera set up. It was intended for. It's impressive itself. Yeah, I did. I tried to get started with the parts that I could. It was the... interestingly enough, it's actually sort of barely in frame over here. I don't know the name of this thing. TTL serial camera? Something like that? TTL serial. Just try like that. Yeah, that's it right there. TTL serial camera with NTSC video is what I took that photo with. All right, let's get the code from the project, which is here. We can just plaster that on the device. We don't really need to keep our hello world there. Nicely done. Yeah, thank you. The one thing I don't know about will be the size limitations. The frame, the thing that I am blitting from is full RGB 24-bit bitmap. So it's actually like relatively large as far as bitmap files go. The one that I was doing before was what? This is 922 kilobytes, and it's only the 640 by 481. So we will have to see how many of these sizes work to be able to blit. My suspicion would be a 1920 by 1080 24-bit bitmap will end up being a very large file that might not fit into RAM. Let's leave it stock default for now, though, with all this stuff, since I haven't ever done anything here. Simple camera ready. Tone. While true. High cam blit. Continuous capture. Interesting. I want to get the Python version of this library. I suspect we are going to be wanting to dive into this library's code. Whoa, why are none of these here? Camera. Camera has a lot of different sizes it can do. We'll need a way to make borders dynamic. I'll assume you've done that with height to width thing. With the height to width thing? Not sure what you mean. There's a tile grid inflator that's part of image load library, which could maybe help somehow, because it could help you use a smaller bitmap to repeat sections and get a larger final size. But I still don't know if it will fit into RAM. Because in order to do the blit, both the source image and the full destination image will need to be in RAM. The destination image is only 16-bit color, 565, but the source image is 24-bit color. I'm not sure if it goes into RAM when it takes this photo or not. It might just be going directly to the SD card. Like, potentially because it doesn't have enough room. But we'll see once we, like, actually get one of the photos here. It is going to try and save to the SD card, it looks like. Oh, I did also only uninstall. I need to reinstall. And I want to give it the old -pi. -pi? Okay, now I'll take the photo in just a second. I can't help but to want to dive into the code just a little bit though. Blit, so this is doing what now? Blit displays a bitmap directly to the LCD bypass display IO. So that will be something we need to work around probably, because if we're bypassing display IO, then it will be hard for us to add our preview of the frame. This can be more efficient than displaying a bitmap as a display IO tile grid, but if any display IO objects overlap the bitmap, the results can be unpredictable. Oh, that would be bad. Interesting. But we could potentially slip something right inside of here where right before we send this to the display. So this is skipping display IO by just packing up all the data from the bitmap and sending it directly into the display bus. Presumably with the correct data that tells it how to draw it or where to draw it or whatever. I guess these commands right here somehow do this, but what we could do though is like we can manipulate that bitmap right here, right? So it's just sending that bitmap in, but before that we could say, all right, we want to take our frame and we want to blit our frame into this bitmap before it gets sent to the bus here. Okay. I think something like that could work maybe. So keys debounce. If shutter short count, print shutter released. If shutter short count? What? What does that mean? Button. Button is what? From debouncer. Short count? Oh, I think it can count the number of presses. So if shutter short count means it was pressed at least once, right? Because any number, so I think short count will go up if you press it again. And that's saying like any number other than 0 would be truthy. Shutter released, tone, display, snap, capture, live preview. That's kind of interesting. I don't know what that's. So it's capture and then show it on the display, but I was thinking the blit right up here was showing it on the display maybe. Accept a type error, so put a message failed, sleep, and then call that live preview again. Okay, so this is maybe going back to live preview mode. So it's like take the photo and then when you're done, return to live preview mode. But it is weird that it looks like this would be doing the live preview all the time, right? Exception runtime, display message, no SD, time.sleep, detect fail. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Huh, that's cool. So it's detecting when the SD card gets unplugged or plugged in, doing the mount. So that's actually really cool. Yeah, I did not know you could do that dynamically, where you can just have it watch and like mount and unmount. That's really cool. And then just refresh after that. Display refresh. It is interesting. Is it use auto refresh? It has a refresh here as well. Is that display refresh? Is that like display IO refresh, or is that like a helper function refresh of some sort? What kind of object is this? So it gets a value. It is, yeah, just a regular display IO. Okay, so okay, and then okay, so auto refresh is false, and then it's calling refresh whenever it wants to. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. I do need to plug in the SD card. Let me grab the one from the old Frankenstein one we were working on here. In addition to that camera that I showed you before that I was working with, I also had a Ada Logger Featherwing, which has an SD card slot on it, was also connected to the Feather, which is where I was doing the storage. Let me also catch up on the chat here. I've been honed in on the other screen here for a minute. MEMENTO has 8 megs of flash, 2 megs of PS RAM, plus the built-in SD. 2K images can be rather large. Curious what the largest image file size will be. Yeah, me too. Interesting to see. It can also take sequential images automatically. Might have a timer. Might have a timer before picture feature 2. It definitely could have a timer, I think, if it... I don't know if it does. This one is also the basic one only. There was an advanced one, which we'll take a look at here in a bit. But it could be like in the advanced one, it's got that. If not, it totally could, right? Because where, you know, right here where it's doing like getting ready to take the picture and stuff, like it could just, you know, have a countdown, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. You could, since it's a ESP32S3, which has Wi-Fi connection, you could also, like potentially theoretically, I should say, theoretically you could be running an HTTP server, which would allow you to maybe send triggers to it from other devices. So you could have it set up to where like you could put the camera on a tripod or whatever, right? And then you could have your smartphone has a button on it that could trigger it to take the photo with a countdown still if you want. That way you could do it from across the room and you don't have to have like the photographer missing out or whatever. Or you could use it for selfies. All right, I got the SD card plugged in. I think we should be ready, so let's give this a run. It's probably got auto reload on, but I am in the REPL right now, so we'll just let that run. All right, so we found the camera. It has got the size there, seemingly colors, autofocus bin. Oh, right. This has like weird stuff in it. How is this stuff working, huh? That's weird. It has a binary file in there. Never seen that before. It's gotta just pass it. It must just be passing it on the bus, right? Like the camera's connected with either SPI or I2C. Looks like I2C. So does it just send that binary to it on the bus? Can we find usages? No usages. Initialize. Okay, so bin file. So it's reading, so it's... Okay, it's finding this file in the same location as the file we're inside of. It's trying to, else it's just giving up and doing no directories. That's where our print came from, I guess, which is why we saw that. Init done at 256689. Autofocus init from file. It opens it as bytes. It autofocus init bitstream. Right camera register. Byte array. And yep, I'm just looping through firmware. Looks like probably 255 bytes at a time. Writing it to a certain place. Looping until we're done. Interesting. So that means the autofocus can be like refined without changing the firmware or the libraries or anything. Well, I mean, it's inside the library, I guess, but... Or you could have like different autofocus algorithms or something. Oh, there is a wireless one. Nice. Does that use HTTP server? Thanks for the link, by the way. Copy the link. Yeah. Super cool. Oh, got the, it's a cameo from the San Francisco postcard back there. Just built the New York postcard with my wife. Maybe 2 weeks ago or so. Curious what this uses. What is that? I don't think I've ever seen that. Micro OSC? Touch OSC. What is OSC? Maybe the camera library already has that built in? OSC messages. I do not know what that stands for. Oh, it's a Topbot thing. Okay, nice. OSC parser server and client. Open sound control. Huh, interesting. Okay, so this is like open sound control. That's a transport protocol for data related to sound over UDP. So it's not really an HTTP server because it doesn't have TCP, right? So it's not, we're a layer up or whatever. Got an OSC address, arguments. Okay. Interesting. So, and then there is what? An app. There must be an app on the phone. Yeah. Or maybe even a website, I guess. It could possibly just work from JavaScript. Interesting. OSC, I never heard of that before. That's really cool. So it's basically a sound information protocol over UDP that this project is using to send a trigger for the camera. Ordinarily, I presume it would send things like kind of almost like MIDI signals or something, where it would be like, you know, play a certain sound or something like that, I assume. Interesting. JP had an entire workshop on it 2 weeks ago. I missed that one. OSC is a MIDI transfer or translation protocol. Nice. Thank you for the link. I'll have to I'll go back and watch that one for sure. Yeah, that is cool. I think HTTP server would be cool too, because you could have a web page. You could do it from a web page on your phone, and you could potentially select. So I get this one is actually selecting some ancillary things, but I'm imagining even being able to potentially select like the frame image and stuff from there would be pretty cool. All right, let's actually get it to snap one. Camera all the way back over here. Okay. All right, so it is on and running. Status 5S normal sub M JPEG. So I don't actually see anything on the preview screen. So there is a thing here. Should I mean, it's clear though, right? Be able to see through that, shouldn't it? A little small for my fingers. There we go. I still don't see anything there. Maybe it does not show the preview until you... Oh. Control C actually is not working here. We're gonna start with just a reset. It feels like it might have hard crashed or something. Okay, yeah, this time, so it says no so it beeped first of all, which it didn't do last time. It says no SD up here, and we have a preview, and we have a size, and it just looks like it's working instead of not working. No SD is rough though, because it does have an SD card plugged in. So it just reset. It just comes back up to no SD. Okay, let's get web workflow set up also, so that we can see files on the SD if the core believes it exists. Is my problem because I didn't create that folder? Might be because I didn't create the folder, actually. Yeah, don't you have to have this now manually created? Let's try. Oh. Might have got to the locked state again. Because that time it didn't beep, and I can't do anything here. Control C is not working. There we go. Yeah. Does the Learn guide have? Does have SD here? I wonder if we're gonna want to add SD to the screenshots. Probably, right? Okay, it does talk about creating it, and I skipped past it, and that's why it wasn't working. It is weird though, like it is kind of locking up, it seems like, sometimes. I guess we'll call it at this point. I haven't really done it enough times to be able to say how frequently or every so often or whatever. So my presumption is we press the button in order to take a photo. That was actually pretty quick. If it was working while it said snap and then it was done after that, that was actually really fast. Okay, so let's get what I was saying before, which is web workflow. Oh, let me catch up on the chat also. It's analogous to 0MQ or MQTT. Oh, I gotcha, okay. Those are both UDP protocols too then, I guess, maybe? I didn't actually know too much about MQTT. Reese Brothers have a project where they upload the image to Adafruit.io. They didn't even know that was capable of receiving images. I've actually done that before with Adafruit.io. I did I was using a Funhouse at the time, but the way I had it set up was there was a server that you could go to and log in and create an image with this like WYSIWYG image editor. And then you could click save and it would upload that server into upload that image into Adafruit.io, and then it would send a signal to the Funhouse, and the Funhouse would download it and show it on the screen. So it was like a way to control the screen of your Funhouse through the internet, but it was uploading the image into Adafruit.io in order to make it work. Brent's also working on facial detection for Whippersnapper. Holy cow. That's crazy. MEMENTO is Whippersnapper compatible too. Nice. If it's 9x, I might require SD card. Yep, thank you. Appreciate the heads up. Installed 9 beta. It should require. Yep. 0MQ is UDP. Oh, okay. So those two are different. 0MQ is UDP, and then MQTT is TCP. Isn't there a web workflow? Web workflow. Yep, so we need those. Partially, it's all just settings file stuff. Obviously, it's got a lot of stuff I don't want to show. So I'm going to bounce over to here. Get my settings file in order. In fact, I might just copy it from the Feather. Does it need to restart after you... Did I save those to the right spot? Oh, it's in the stuck state again. It's almost like every other time it seems like it's going to the stuck state, truthfully. It prints that SD init after, or SD init at, and then nothing else happens, and the doesn't print anything else, and then the screen just stays stuck. And yeah, when it works successfully, we have all this stuff here, like mount VSFS, EFS, simple camera ready, the beeps, there's like, does a couple other things when it actually succeeds. All right, so let's try this again. Let's show that. Oh, this time that loads though, so that's better. Snakes. I actually don't, oops, I just said my password out loud. All right, well, I think I've shown the password on the screen before too. I'll change it. Update to connect, the device was not found. I think I actually had this. I think I just want to go to the device, actually. Let me just go. Device, and then go to... Really what I want is the file browser, not the code editor. If the code editor doesn't work, I don't actually care right now for this. Nice. It looks like it saved the image. That image is actually only 164K also, which is kind of crazy. If that's really 1920 by 1080, that's really small, I feel like. Slightly blurry. Yeah, 1920 by 1080. JPEG's really good at compression, I guess. Okay. Let's start with the same size we had before. So let me grab frame 888, this one right here. And let's basically start with just trying to get it to do what the other one was doing. We might have killed it by pasting that. Yeah, I have a hard fault screen now. Memory access or instruction error. I'm on beta 0. I wonder if it's worth getting anything newer. Is there any chance that some of these things are resolved? There's been a lot of fixing going on, like Scott was talking about yesterday. So can you double tap reset or yeah? Nice thing about JPEGs is compression. Yeah, that's crazy. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised it gets it that small. My apologies, friend over in Twitch. I had my chats covered up, so I don't even know. There's no timestamps or anything. I have no idea how long ago you asked this question, so my apologies if it was a while ago. But Moy Gut over in the Twitch chat says, "Hello, sir. Can MEMENTO run Doom?" I'm pretty sure I've heard about the ESP32, one of those families of chips running Doom. This is an ESP32S3. So, like, theoretically, maybe it's possible based on a thing I think I've heard, which is obviously not that much evidence, but maybe. That being said, I do not know how to do it, and I do not necessarily intend to do it. It has a D-pad and an OK button, so you could move around and shoot, potentially. I would guess, probably very likely, if it can run Doom, it would not involve using CircuitPython, would be my guess, is that it's probably not a CircuitPython type endeavor. I don't know. This is just right back to the stuck state again, even right after it booted up from installing the fresh version. I think beta 0 is the latest. Well, it's the latest release, like, even non-stable release, but there's, like, you know, there's a bunch of new ones that are newer that just haven't been put to a release yet, but it seems like we still have the same thing. I don't know if I have done something incorrect. You would think if it is actually every other time, which is starting to be what it feels like to me, you would think it would have been reported by other people. So I'm inclined to believe that maybe I have somehow done some portion of this incorrect. Nice, there you go. Okay, Nano ESP32 can play Doom. So since this is the same sort of main family of chip, my assumption would be probably it could be done by a person who was motivated and resourceful enough. So it actually just reset itself right now and came back to frozen. Like, it was up and it was running and it was not frozen. And then I presume that it thinks a file got written and then now it's frozen. So I think one of the things I need to do pretty much right now is get the bootpy set up to turn off auto reload. Because auto reload is causing more issues than helpfulness at this point. If we are actually going to be getting locked up every other time we run, then we want to be in more control over the times we run, basically, rather than just when a file is edited, especially because my computer sometimes is editing files that I'm not really explicitly telling it to directly. Yeah, that's corrupted. We're back to a hard fault, memory access, or instruction error. I didn't mean to click revert changes. It's really annoying. I was trying to click close. Okay, wish they would be a little further apart. Okay, so I need to be able to edit this. So I guess I want to restart, and then I want to get to REPL, because when it's in REPL, it doesn't auto reload. Disconnect, connect, here we go. Okay, so we want to, oh, we disconnected already. Keyboard interrupt came through, but then we got disconnected. What? So, I mean, is it frozen? Is it locked up even right now? So this is running. Web workflow's running. But the USB serial connection is gone. And also the file drive is gone. Might actually help if we use an alpha, yeah. Can if it's pre-compiled on Arduino, not CircuitPython, only CircuitPython demos Halloween. If I'm gonna reset again. I don't know. I feel like I have done something terribly wrong though, because it seems like very, very, very unstable. Oh shoot, I was doing that command wrong. I don't understand why it's connecting as ACM1 either. Okay, we're at least here in the REPL now, so moving in the right direction. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at issues. I would want to try to somehow make sure I've not done something wrong, true, as well. Or like see if like anyone else is seeing this, because I don't, if I am literally the only one seeing it, then I don't suspect it's a widespread issue, and I am seeing it enough that if it were a widespread issue, I don't think I, like, would be the only one. I don't know how many are out there, I guess, though. Maybe there's fewer mementos out there than I thought. Maybe my SD card is messed up. It does, like, it's always coming, so, like, when it freezes there, it freezes while it's trying to do something with the SD card. All right, so I'm trying to get this into my boot pie, which is there. Save that. As soon as I save it, it just restarted. It won't let me save, and now it's restarted hard fault. Now, every time I save it, it does that. What is this? So right now it seems like if I save anything, it just hard faults. Okay. Did we actually manage to rename that for realsies? Yes. All right, so CodePy is not running anymore. Can I change BootPy now? No. Came out during alpha, so most people probably have that loaded. Beta 0 was just released days ago. Possible there's an issue with beta 0. Move the SD card. So the SD card should be out of the mix right now. Because right now we don't have a CodePy that's running. And the only thing I'm trying to do is just write code into BootPy. So the SD card should not be connected even right now. There's a folder called SD, but it doesn't see anything inside of it because it's not actually there. It's fascinating that the web workflow has continued to work. So I wonder, there's this thing, right? Maybe this is messing it up? Okay, let's try a different file. Like, is BootPy the only file that is doing this? Or, I mean, because I renamed code, and that succeeded, but that's not changing the content of the file. So that reloaded, but that's because auto reload is on. No. Okay. Did I just do new folder and not paste? I thought I did paste. Okay, so it seems like anytime I try to change the content of a file, we get the hard fault. That makes me think messed up storage. I'm actually going to take one of the same steps that Scott did yesterday. And I'll try to narrow down variables one at a time. I'll take the SD card out if we're still getting it. We'll do a couple of times. If we are still getting it after that, I will try downgrading to before beta 0. See if we're getting it. I would like to work on the camera. We're gonna maybe run out of time to work on the actual photo stuff. Okay. So interestingly, this time it has this. I wonder if somehow we broke it by the way we created that before. I don't know if these are going to open. I was going to copy settings toml first. I ended up copying some other stuff too, but I don't know if it's going to open the files. I don't want to have it on the screen right now. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I just pasted a bunch of stuff, and it did not hard fault. That's good. Saved that, and it did not hard fault, so that's also good. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking we had like a bad storage corruption action going on. Maybe one of those first couple of times that it crashed. Maybe the first time it crashed because of the lack of the SD card or something. It got it into just a bad state from then on, and we crashed because of that a bunch. And then now that we finally reformatted it, maybe we're okay. I don't know. Those are all complete guesses, but let's do reset and see if our boot pie has taken effect. So now I should be able to edit files and have it not reload. Save that. It does not rerun. It does not print something else. But if I Control-C, Control-D it, then it's got the new version. All right. Now we're looking better there. All right. Where were we? Oh, not code. Doesn't have any code in it. Well, that's a bummer. I guess it's a good thing I didn't do too much in there. You know what? PyCharm probably has got my back here. And yeah, I'm not sure that I actually did make any changes. I was gonna, like, the next thing I was gonna try to do is after we take the picture here, I was gonna try to blip my frame into it. And that's when we got off the rails a bit. So I'll save this. I'll rerun. We got no module, high camera, but that's because we don't have any libraries because we reformatted. Let's get to REPL. Let's open this. I really dislike how the default right click doesn't work like 40% of the time, because it opens this and then if your click ends while one of these is highlighted, it closes the menu, but it's too easy to like accidentally do that. It's incredibly minor interaction, but it's the kind of thing that drives me bonkers sometimes, honestly. All right, I do want the Python version of PyCamera, because I do still think we are going to want to make changes. So it just reset itself while I was pasting files. It is back to a hard fault. Yeah, I don't know. Memory error? I mean, we are getting hard fault. What did it say? Memory access or instruction error? Generic failure. No, that's different. Memory error. Please reset to exit safe mode. I mean, we're in safe mode now, so theoretically we're like extra no reloading. But I mean, I also don't trust any of these, right? I don't know which one of these it was writing at the time it did that, but it like reset and hard faulted. So I mean, for sure, at least one of these must be messed up, right? Where is dot? Why is this empty? This is weird. Usually these have files. Yeah, one. Keep peeling back layers of the onion here. All right, let's not worry about that, I guess. Let me do one at a time, I guess? I don't know. You don't actually need bus device. I could have skipped it. Nope, there it goes. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna try to ask in the Discord, I guess. I don't know. It feels very much like if it were this bad for everyone, it would have been mentioned, so I don't know. All right, let's get CodePy to not CodePy. Let's also save it because last time we did this, we just lost it. Have a brand new MEMENTO I haven't used yet. Can help test. All right, so that ran CodePy, which is no longer CodePy, so we don't have a CodePy. Finished instantly, and then it went to the REPL. Exactly what it should do. So it will be a beta 1, it sounds like, soon that I can try. But I did try absolute newest already. In fact, I'm on absolute newest already. Okay, that was actually the same file. Right? That's what it failed on last time. So what I just said may not be true about not specific files. Is there one of those? Do you think there's one of those tildes here? No. Okay. All right, I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah. Maybe scripted. Alright, yeah. I think most likely the rest of this probably just turns into troubleshooting instead of camera stuff. So unfortunately the title of this video will be a little bit wrong, but we need to test more versions. I think first let's get back to beta 0. I swear one of these was the one we wanted. There it is. Let's get, is there anything before that? There's an alpha 6. Then there's alphas all the way back to 2, but those are it for this build, for this board rather. CodePy currently has nothing in it, or doesn't exist, I should say. Shoot, that's what I want to do. Code. Mine came with 0.16 bootloader. Only had to load the beta 0. Got maybe a different state or something. All right, let's put a little bit of something in CodePy just so we can see when it runs. I mean, realistically, I'm about to erase it again, so I guess it doesn't really matter what we put there. So one thing is my PC seems to still think I'm copying files, which I don't like. Right, this can't be good, really. Okay, it went away finally. That's slightly reassuring, sort of. All right, we should be on beta 0 now. Let me try pasting just that one. Let me try pasting just that one library. I deleted this before. It will be permanently lost. Ain't scared. Nope, same thing. I don't recall ever seeing quite this exact problem before either, which is interesting. Got a new and exciting bug. Loading beta 0, wiped it to factory state. Came preloaded with something and I wiped it. Now my CircuitPy drive has a blank CodePy. So what it came preloaded with, I mean, I can only speak to what mine was and to what most of the devices are usually. There's perhaps a chance it was different on this one, but what mine was and what most of the devices are usually, that preloaded code, that's Arduino code, not CircuitPython. And the way to get that back would be to try to find the, well, either there would be Arduino code somewhere for it, which you could run from the Arduino IDE, but oftentimes there is a demo UF2 that is put somewhere in the guide. And if you load that demo UF2, it's got that sort of preloaded sample program. Can't tell if that's it or not, though. Anyway. That is typically how it goes. I don't see it in this list. I also do want to keep going on this, though, because I want to try to get done what I can get done here. So we did still fail, so I think the next thing is we do another... Do I have anything important on here? I mean, at this point, not really, right? Because it's been failing to paste stuff. I did put the code, but it's also not actually there again. So we got that thing where it didn't actually show up, which is interesting. Yeah, none of the rest of this matters. Did get the boot pie, I guess, which was convenient, but... Thought it ran CircuitPython. Most devices are, the demo is Arduino. And in the case of mine, I'm pretty sure that was the same on my MEMENTO when I just opened it up here. Because when I powered it up was actually the first time that I have powered it up. And it was on that sample thing. I didn't play with it too much, but it was like a sample camera thing. My understanding is that thing is Arduino. I would guess that there's a copy of it somewhere, but I don't know where. Okay. It's back up after a refresh of the file system, a reformat. So I'm just going to go straight. Whoops. I'm going to go. Hold on. There's no SD this time. And lib is messed up. Oh, I got a bad feeling about this. I don't know. I'm just going to do that again. So like, because it was hard faulted or whatever before, this time it didn't hard fault at least. So I'm going to do it again while it's in a clean session. I have no idea if that's a thing or not, or just superstitious or what, but I'm going to do it. That's my reasoning. I feel like it should have the SD. It did last time, I think. But also lib should be a folder like this. Lib is a folder this time, so that's good. Where did that SD come from? Because that SD had a file in it called placeholder. Maybe the newer CircuitPython, when you run erase file storage, does that. Because I did that on the new version. That's got to be it. Okay. Okay, so I don't think it matters because I'm probably not going to get to using the SD card, but I'm going to create an SD. I am going to try to paste display text again. I'm going to download a new copy of this, right? Maybe my copy of this is broken. Oh yeah, I scrolled past it on this page too. Whoops. All right, new copy of this. Display text. Lib. Paste. All right. All right. I pasted one thing. I don't know which one of these is my new one. I definitely want to keep using the new one. In case it was just like as simple as the old one was messed up. So if the old version of the project was messed up, maybe when I was pasting it on the device, I was breaking my device. It got like, maybe that old version of the project got corrupted in the download? You know, this is total hypothesis theory here. I don't know if this makes any sense or not, but... Do I dare try more than one? Let's try 2 to start with. All right. All right. Okay. Okay, I want PyCamera, but I want the Python one. So we're going to go Circuit. Okay. All right. It was Python? What? Oh, okay. This is the project. Sure. Look at the right folder. Okay, those are Python. Very good. Okay, let's take the code and let's call it not code, and let's paste it on the device. Okay, let's make a boot py. From PyCharm. Oops. Let's put this in it and save it. And let's just reset from here. Refuses to take a picture without an SD card anyway. Yeah, I figured, I wasn't certain from the code, but I was guessing based on the code that it might not be able to do that. I mean, it wouldn't be able to, like, there's nowhere to save it by default, right? You'd have to, at a minimum, you'd have to be putting your thing into, you know, writable mode, right? Otherwise, there's just nowhere for it to save it. Maybe you could take a photo and instantly upload it. That'd be kind of interesting. Since you do have Wi-Fi, you could just, like, well, it gets back to, it doesn't fit in memory, I'm not sure. But if you can actually fit it into memory, maybe you could take that JPEG and instantly just feed it into an HTTP stream that's getting uploaded somewhere. All right, so we are back up. We still have basically nothing in CodePy. We do have a not CodePy, which has got the project, the camera project. If I make edits to something like CodePy, well, so right now we're in the REPL though. I guess it's because we instantly get to the REPL because this doesn't have a while true. Doing this, and it's still not detecting the card. Doing this, and still not detecting the card. Yeah, I have not actually made it to the card just yet on this go round. I created SD. It has nothing inside of it so far. Okay, and because it's not mounted right now, I guess. So yeah, it should show nothing inside of it. Well, I don't think it ever shows anything inside of it in PyCharm anyway, truthfully. I don't think. Would be kind of cool though. Okay, this does have the new version because it did not return, so it's just chilling there. It's running right now, which is good. So, and then if I save this, right, like if I make another change and save it, it does not run because bootpy auto reload false is now active, but I can still do all of this. Okay, I'm thinking like we made it to load it up, right? We have all the stuff on here. Got the stuff. All right. So how about how about I just run that by importing it? Import not code. Let's just let it run. Now I think it's... Yeah, I think it's frozen. This gets to this... It did the same thing as we saw before. It gets to the frozen state after this one, before the next one, which is like VFS. I don't know where it's at. Right there. So... All right, I think we are kind of maybe to the point where it's like I'll try beta 1 when it comes out. Dan was mentioning releasing that, so I'll try that and see if I get the same behavior. And if I do, then I will try to document what I can. Part of the problem a little bit is I don't know if all of this is connected, I guess, right? So if I just write up one issue with everything I saw, it's just going to be a monster mammoth of an issue that is going in a million different directions, right? Because one of the things I saw was this, where this project's code freezes after SD card init and before mount VFS, seemingly every other time I run it. That seemed like a pretty solid pattern when we had it loaded up before. I'll try right now. Let's see if we follow it. And so like we're frozen right now. So we'll see if I reset button. And so remember right now though, it's not on CodePy, so it's not just gonna run automatically. But let's say if I would run it again. Did we make it past there? Yeah, see, this time we made it, right? This is where we saw this last time, and then we never saw anything else. And it was completely frozen, like no control C's, nothing would interact from here. Nothing else finished on the screen, right? It didn't put this stuff here. It wasn't doing the preview. It was just seemingly locked up. But this time it did it, right? All right, so I just snapped a photo. I don't have a settings.toml that has stuff in it right now, so I can't see that image from web workflow. Let me work on that real quick. I don't know. I feel like it's safer to like paste files when it's in the REPL, so I'm gonna take it to the REPL. I'm gonna grab that settings toml from here, drop it back into here. Close it, bring this back. We are in REPL right now. One thing I noticed is we are in REPL, but this is still showing that stuff, right? That's interesting. The camera bundle simple test works fine in beta 0. Anything specific I can test now that it's up and running? I would say this, I mean, this is the one, basic camera is the one that I'm using here. Drop the link for it. So I basically just tried taking the project code from that, download project bundle. Then like at one point we were having trouble copying it, but sometime, you know, this time around I got it copied, but it is still doing this thing where it's like every other time it freezes. So far it seems like, I guess. Let's try it. So far we've had one freeze and one successful run. So I will reset, and if the trend continues, then this one is a freeze. Yeah. And so we're frozen. So Control C, I'm hammering Control C right here. We got no action. Control D, no action. I mean, I don't know if any of these buttons do anything, but you know, cheese button does nothing. Like, as far as I can tell, the microcontroller is just like either off, you know, not doing anything, crashed, and just in a state that it didn't recover from, or is you know, spinning its wheels in an infinite loop that's not letting it do anything else. Those are my best kind of two guesses as to what state it's in. But now we can just reset. So now we flop back, right? This time it will work. So I'll run it again. So I'd say if you want to try with this project and see if you're seeing the same thing or not. And then once beta 1 is out, a little while later, it sounds like, then maybe try on that as well. And either you can post an issue with what you find, or I will try it later on as well, and I'll post an issue with what I find if I'm still having trouble, and you can add to that issue if you want. Either way is totally cool. Let's do a import not code. Should I attempt to change? What should I attempt to change in it? Just a print? I haven't changed anything. I'm using the exact code from the project. So I have just loaded it and I'm running it. I did not change anything, and it's behaving in this way, where it's every other time it gets frozen. So, and then this time we're back to successful, and indeed it did. Like, everything seems to be working. Take another snap. And then we can maybe see this stuff at this point, because I set up settings toggle a little while back. And so then the freezing is not triggered by a file change. Yeah, see, here's what I was talking about before, or if I were to try to write out everything, it's just so many things. I don't know if they're connected. The freezing was not triggered by a file write. That's just running the code. It starts running, and then it gets frozen. No file writes have happened. The hard fault, which I was seeing before when I was trying to copy files, that was triggered seemingly by file writes. And so it's like, you know, two different things. But I'm so far currently, fingers crossed, knock on wood, hopefully we don't mess it up. But, you know, right now it's seeming like I'm in a state where I'm not having that same file writing problem anymore right now, knock on wood. But I am having every other time that this code executes, it gets stuck right after the SD card init and right before the VFS init. I don't think that matters, because web workflow doesn't factor into this. Like, I just use web workflow to look at this picture, but this doesn't matter, right? I don't think this matters, because by the time that it's frozen right here, it has not done anything, hasn't taken a picture. So like, I can get this behavior without even taking pictures. And web workflow, the only thing web workflow is doing for me is allowing me to see the photos that I take, but I can get this without taking photos. So I don't need web workflow. I don't think web workflow factors into this. I could try. I mean, maybe if it's like I did have the tab open, like maybe I would be surprised, but like maybe the tab being open could have been causing this, or I could try changing my settings toggle to disable it again. I don't believe that it's factors in though. So we'll be back to it working this time because we froze last time. Yep. Yeah, I mean, so far I'm 100% on like back and forth, very, very, very. So I won't take a picture, right? Since that doesn't matter. Won't even take the picture. I'll just restart again. Control C, Control D, Control C. Import, not code. So we get a freeze this time. Yeah, same thing. Freeze on, so it's basically like this is the last thing you see printed, and you never see the next one, and it's frozen. And so like no Control C, right? Press Control C here, nothing happens. No, there is no GitHub issue. I'm not going to make it until I try the new version, and the new version's not released yet. So either you can wait until then, and then I can get you the link after that's actually created, or you can make one. Either way, but there's not one right now. But like right now, just I'm trying to understand if you're seeing the same behavior. So like that's if you're trying to test something right now, it's just test that and see if you're seeing the same behavior or not. But I don't have a link to a different description of it or anything right now. But I'll make one if I'm still seeing it once beta 1 comes out, whenever that is. But I think I'm going to head out for now. We didn't really get much into the image splitting, unfortunately, but got to work through the rest of it before I can really use the device, seemingly. I mean, at this point, I can use it every other run, I guess, but I want to probably be spending my time documenting that a little bit before trying to iterate every other time while I work on the project. So I think that's where we're at. So I'll try the next one. I soft rebooted about 20 times, no problem. Okay, so I'll try maybe redoing my SD card. Maybe my SD card's messed up or something. I don't know what else I could... I mean, I have a different SD card too, actually. I could just try a different one too. That's probably all stuff I'll do, but it'll all have to come later. I'll try a bunch of stuff. I'll reformat this card somewhere else. I'll try a different card. I'll try a bit of one. I'm using Moo, not getting that issue. I'm also on Windows. I don't think Moo would matter too much either, because I'm not... Like, at this point, there's no more files being changed or edited or anything. I guess Moo is a different serial thing. Like, maybe if the bug is with the serial, I suppose that could factor in, but I would be surprised. I don't think there would be any difference with Moo. So I don't think that is the, like, works with it and doesn't without, but I could try that as well. I mean, it's got to be the SD card, right? Like, there's something wonky with my SD card. There must be, right? Because it's when it tries to mount it, and it's consistently every time. I would think that's got to be it, right? Can you get to the debug pin on this one? Probably not, right? Only with a, maybe with a pogo? I don't know why I'm doing this. This is going to be all messed up anyway. Why don't we just look at the professional photos here? I mean, I would love to use this, but this doesn't support Linux. So I'm excluded from being allowed to use it. It's unfortunate. debug pin. Does not look like it, huh? Unless it's one of these unlabeled pads. On this side, at least. There's vias, but no pads really on this side. Don't see it there either. Like, yeah, looks like no debug pin broken out. The ESP feathers are really cool. They have the debug pin. You can use like a, what you call it, UART serial adapter thingy. Yeah, I don't see it in there. See any other pads? Yeah, I don't use Pop! OS either. I'm just Ubuntu. Like the one that used to format noobs for Raspberry Pi. And then PyCharm I don't think is factoring in, but again I'll try removing variables later on. But I don't think PyCharm's factoring in because I didn't. All the code that I copied to it, I copied in my file explorer this time. I did not paste anything in PyCharm. The only thing that currently is being done in PyCharm is showing me the contents of this. I edited bootpy in PyCharm, I think. Though I'm not 100% sure, but I think. So like it didn't start crashing when I did that. I don't think that's part of my problem. And the only other thing that's happening in PyCharm is this, which is really happening in TO, not PyCharm. It's just PyCharm is the terminal where it's at. So I could try later without PyCharm, but I don't think that PyCharm is the culprit. I appreciate you for testing, so it sounds like you're not having the same problem, which is reassuring, honestly, because I'm glad that it's not everyone having it, but it is consistently happening for me, so I got to get it figured out with my device. I'm thinking it's got to be something about my SD card, so I'll have to try to mess with that. Yeah, I don't use Pop! OS anymore. I don't use the computer made by that company anymore because it can't compile CircuitPython without mysteriously freezing. Ironically enough, as far as mysteriously freezing problems go, so I don't want to use it for other things if I can't use it for building CircuitPython. So unfortunately, I don't really use it for much of anything. And I moved to Ubuntu as a way to try to be able to compile CircuitPython successfully on that computer, which did not work successfully, but did make me realize that I actually kind of prefer Ubuntu to Pop! OS anyway. So then I just started using Ubuntu. And now I got a different computer that does compile CircuitPython. It's not made by the same people, and it works, and it does what I want, and so I use it. I'm gonna head out for now, though. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Definitely appreciate you trying it out. DJ Devin, again, I'm glad that it's not happening for you. That's really good, actually. That means it's not just like something in the build or something with all the devices or anything. So theoretically, I think that gives me hope, like, probably I just reformat that or get a different drive or whatever, different card, and probably I'll be back to normal just like you are, which is good. But thanks for hanging out, folks. I will catch you all later on. I'll be back for the stream next week, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. Meeting, as a reminder, meeting is on Tuesday this week. So, yeah, no meeting Monday. Look out for that on Tuesday. And yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. I'll see you later. Yep, take it easy, Bear. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all later.